Up next, Louie O Live with Robin on Colors.
Sarap! Good evening! Good evening! Welcome to Louie O Live with Robin Nievera. For tonight's episode, we're gonna start with something fresh. New is always better, as they all say. That's why we've invited a new breed of talented songwriters. We have Lee Grant, Keiko Necesario, and Thyro. Welcome to the show, guys.
Lee
Thank
Grant.
you. Oh yeah, sorry,
Lee
Lee Grant. Sorry. Oh my God. Sorry.
I actually saw Lee Grande.
Really?
In the-
Yeah, sorry. No, my fault.
Oh, it's good. It's
Take
good.
4. No,
Take 45.
sorry about that.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome,
Keiko,
guys.
Lee,
Thank
Thyro, we're so happy that you are here. This was such a cool episode that we were trying to put together for like weeks, and we wanted to see what we would come up with this. So,
See, I told you I have difficulty speaking and playing, so I pronounced her name.
I know, he said it to me yesterday. I go, what? I've never seen that, but it makes sense. You know, you're thinking about so many things. I don't know how to read kasi I don't know how to think kasi like a musical director who conducts everything. You're reading everybody's parts, everybody's like that. So I understand why you
Hindi
wouldn't.
bilang now I have to talk.
Now
diba?
you have to talk also. You're thinking of all of our
It's so,
parts.
it's so difficult. It's really well, guys. Thank you very much. And talaga, sorry, you mentioned your name wrong.
It's okay. It happens.
It's okay.
I get my name wrong all the time. They call me Ram all
Huh?
the time. I'm always Ram.
Ako, they call me Louie Reyes sometimes. Or Anyway, guys, as new and talented artists, where do you get your inspiration from? Who wants to start?
Sige, I'll start. I get inspiration with everyday life, real life, and usually, because I'm the type of songwriter who gets commissioned to do stuff, so usually there's already a brief that I follow. So if, for example, a company or an artist would ask me to write something about this and this and this, yun na yung sinusunod ko kung ano niya. But for my personal stuff and the stuff that I like to write, kung ano lang maisipan.
Oo. I have a quick question. No? Kapag commissioned, you
Yeah.
give it outright?
Depends. Usually it's 15 months renewable.
Okay.
But if they want to buy it out, we're gonna have a different talk altogether.
Ang ibig po sabihin nun, kapag commissioned work, we're asked to a certain say person or company asks us to write a song, and they have the option to irenta nila yan sa'yo, so kunyari 1 year, 2 years, or bibilhin nila sa'yo tapos wala ka nang babayaran, di ba? So yun.
Which one would you prefer?
Depends. If it's like a commercially released song,
Yeah.
I prefer they lease it out.
Okay.
If it's an ad, I prefer they buy it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Ako naman,
Oh no. Now, what do you think? I want to know. I'm
me,
curious.
before I used to have it leased, di ba? Parenta na lang muna. Then after 5 years, nakikiusap nila, bilhin na namin sa'yo kasi every year.
Paulit-ulit.
Paulit-ulit. Then you still sell it at a good price. So
We learned something today.
Yeah.
But if it's like a promo, hindi nila ulitin.
Yeah,
Like,
get it away.
yes. Ano yung bulk ng work mo sa I'd call it advertising. Advertising
Yeah.
yun, di ba? Siyempre.
Yeah.
So ngayon you do most of advertising work or
Actually,
writing songs for other people.
I would say advertising would be 95% of
Okay.
my work now. Because as of now, I don't think I wrote anything this year. Yeah, na song. But yeah, I think mga 90-95% of the time I do ads.
But you've been working this. Have you worked this year
Yeah.
with everything that's been happening?
Yeah, I had a lot of, especially the products that are still selling even pandemic, like
Okay.
essentials. So yun.
All right, that's good to know.
How about Lee and Keiko? Have you had commissioned works by any chance?
No.
I know that-
So
actually,
it's all
more
writing
of
from the
like
heart and for
for
yourselves and enjoying your own music,
Yes.
diba? Ang sarap, no?
So, from what I know from these two, Lee has been writing during the pandemic, and you got engaged.
Yeah, I
So,
actually came out with an
congratulations
album.
to you and an album. Album
Thank
and
you.
an
And
engagement.
An engagement.
So she was the most productive from all
How
of
do you
us.
Yes.
set, when you write your songs, how do you set the mood?
Ako po kasi super important sa akin actually the mood. Sometimes I go on songwriting retreats. Like I
Wow.
rent Airbnbs and then I just write there.
Campers. Sinong campers sa inyo? Nag-campers.
Elements camp?
Elements camp po. Yes po.
Okay.
Oh, I
okay.
thought like actual camping. I was going to be
No,
like,
because we had this thing like
The mountains,
elements,
go.
campers, for
For
songwriters,
Yeah.
no?
I didn't
Yeah.
get to join. There was one year that I was in, and then it happened that I had to be out, so I had to bow
Oh, no,
out.
sayang.
But sayang, I really wanted to join.
Yeah, sayang na. Tapos pandemic.
And then obviously, if I were to ask you, what's your sound? If you were to describe yung sound ng songwriting nyo, well, you're both holding the guitar, so there's a given there. But if you were to describe your sound, what would it be?
cakes
for
are
me
always
po,
changing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, for
Keiko,
sure.
Keiko doesn't change what she does,
Okay.
but she likes to experiment with different genres with
Yeah.
the same thing that she still does.
Yeah,
So she does that very, very, very
I think
well.
the core is folk talaga since I really started like just like you know raw guitar and stuff. But right now I am exploring a little bit of electronic into it, but still you have
You had
the
didn't you have a name for it?
electronic folk. It's like electro folk, kind of like that, but more folky than electronic. Yeah.
I was trying to put the words together, but a bad word came
What
in
is,
my head.
curious lang, what is folk to you? Kasi yung time namin, it's really, when you say folk songs, it's really storytelling.
Really?
Okay, yeah, sorry, big. I'm not asking you anything. Okay.
Just mo si Google.
Answer me. And then I was talking about folk.
Google is also curious
it's
about
on,
what
it's
folk
on
is.
silent, eh.
Was it looking for it?
Yeah,
Hey Google.
Oh my goodness.
I'm serious.
What a nice phone.
Yeah, folk songs, kunyari, the storytelling is really beautiful.
Yes.
And I'm sure you do the same thing, Miba, as far as your songwriting is concerned.
Yes.
And then you just may twist lang in how you do it, Miba?
Yes, well, for sure. Even with inspiration, I really get inspiration from storytelling because I really believe that when you write songs, you have to believe in them or at least know what you're writing about. Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
How about you, Lee?
I think in terms of sound, I think we're kind of the same. I'm like looking at a mirror in terms of like I guess the way that our sound is. Because when you ask like what is your sound like, it's very difficult to kind of can it in a way that it's just like one label. I guess maybe as artists, it's that freedom to not be labeled as one and just kind of keep
that's true.
exploring and diving deeper into what you can create from at that time. So I just write based on feelings, really. Like what inspires me is what's happening right now. And I guess being Pisces, I feel everything that's going on so that it doesn't have to be my own experience. I could be talking to you and that could be the drive for the song to come out.
If you were to write a song for one of them, would your thought process change?
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I always make sure that, especially for songs na hindi sa akin, yung ibibigay ko sa
Yeah.
ibang tao, I have to make sure na believable siya when it's said by this person. Like for example, you cannot give ako personally, I would not give Kilometro to James Reid because ang lalim ng Tagalog.
Okay, that's great.
So
that would have answered my
kung si
question.
James Reid yung magsasabi nun, parang I won't believe
Yeah.
the guy. So,
So-
it's either mag-English siya or medyo simpler Tagalog.
Now, you mentioned Kilometro. You wrote Kilometro. Aside from Kilometro, Ikot-Ikot, at dami. What's the story behind Kilometro? Traffic? Hindi.
No, it's really actually Kilometro was written by me and Yumi Laksamana. And then eto, I was talking about kanina different ways to start the song. This started with the title lang. Parang
They gave you a title.
no, parang we were drinking coffee tapos sabi namin, let's make a serious song out of a weird title. What
Okay.
could be a weird
That's
title? Like you won't think it's a serious song. Kilometro? And then okay, so how would it go?
Yeah.
Parang it started with the word kilometro tapos
You built around that.
Built around the
That's cool.
You know,
word.
I'll be honest, the first time I heard, they told me, okay, we're gonna do this song, Kilometro. First thing I said, ano yan yung
Ballpen.
kilometriko? Kung tanda na, no? But anyway, excited na ako mapakinggan ang musika nyo. And to start our show tonight, here's our hitmaker and songwriter, Thyro.
Yes, sir.
Bakit nga ba itong agwat natin pinipilit palawakin? Pero habang merong bumabalakid ang pag-ibig lumalalim, tila tala sa talang layo at di ka na matanaw. Pero pag humahaba ay lalo kitang sinisigaw. Maging ang laot, walang takot na tatawirin kahit alon ay umabot sa papawirin. San mang dako'y pinangako makakarating, ikaw lang ay makapiling. Gagawin kong lahat upang sa uli, sa uli, sa uli ay tayo. Kung kailangan kong tahakin ang kilometrong layo. Kilometrong layo. Kilometrong layo.
Keiko, you are the first now in your family to pursue a musical career. Is that right?
Yes po, yes.
Oh, how many siblings do you have?
Dalawa lang po kami.
Dalawa lang kayo. And
Yung isa
so
po
how did your
engineering.
parents say anything or
First po, syempre, they wanted me to, like every other parent, really wanted me to graduate muna and then
Oo.
pursue, music. But even before graduated, nakasama na ko na si Thyro sa Philpop po eh. Doon ako nag-start,
Okay,
Philpop,
okay.
2012. So, Philpop really opened so many doors for me as a songwriter. And then, eventually, it just happened na.
and
basta
how old were you
tuloy-tuloy.
when you discovered your love for music?
Bata pa po ako eh. Kasi po, I think I remember in third grade, nag-start na akong magsulat-sulat ng kanta. But I didn't know how to play any instrument then. But,
Galing,
Yeah.
third grade.
na po.
Nagjo-jolens pa ako noong third grade, grade 3. Oo, jolens talaga. Yeah, yeah. And then, influences mo. Sino yung mga influences mo? Sa
I
music.
think po, what I really love about, music in general, talagang nag-evolve ka as an artist. Well, I started before talaga like ballad music because in my time, 90s, sina Julina Magdangal yung pinapakinggan ko, Rosel Nava, opo, meme kachong ako na. So, it really just evolved until I started playing the guitar, I think around 2000s, 2004, mga around then po. Tapos yun, doon na nag-start yung band era, Hail, ganyan.
And Lee, do you come from a family of musicians or ikaw lang?
No, not at all. But music has always been in the
Not
house.
Ariana's sister.
Not Ariana Grande. Lee Grande.
Okay. And then when did you start? How old were you when you started playing the guitar and singing?
I was 10 years old. Around 1995.
Informal training?
Informal training. So it happened 90s time of boy bands. Philippine bands like Eraserheads, River Maya. And I was, before there's like a stereo tape deck kind of 3-layered thing. And Eraserheads was playing in the radio with the Smile. And I grabbed a walis tambo and I held it in front of it and I started playing. And that's how I wanted to start to play the guitar.
You were also sa season ng The Voice of the Philippines, diba? 20, what year was this?
2013.
Dude, that was that far back? I remember when you were on it.
2013, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
But
Time
prior
flies
to
so
that,
fast.
you had the musical
Prior
career
to that,
already,
I've been singing already for 10 years already at that time. Around Makati area.
That area. I don't know how you and I met. I forget. Was that to Carlos? Or?
Yes, we met in that area of Saguio.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hanging
but
out in the
we worked a
studios,
lot
recording.
together.
Yeah.
She's helped a lot with you were part of that first time
Yes.
we brought I wanted to do like a do-it-yourself music show, and I called her. She was very, very kind to sing her songs on it. So now she's here again on this concept.
And after the
So it
Voice of
works.
the Philippines, did it open more doors for you for your career?
Absolutely. Yeah, that really allowed me to, I guess, reach more people. And from that reach, then that really opened a lot of doors, places that I never thought I would be able to go, and people I didn't even think I
Usually
would
that
be able to sing
happens kasi
for.
like ako, I was a songwriter, 77, 78. Then I joined Metropop, 79. That opened doors also for
Wow.
me. So parang, it really helps. It's like your giant calling card, di ba?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Tyro, ikaw naman.
Yeah.
Yung love for music, kailan nag-umpisa?
I think baby pa.
Wow.
Hindi, kasi-
Baby like 5 years old?
My first public performance was 5 years old.
Wow.
I sang Ako'y Pilipino in the school after the flag ceremony.
Okay.
So that was my first ever public performance. Pero sabi ng parents ko, 3 pa lang may kumakanta-kanta na eh. And I see it with my daughter now. Sobrang niyang hilig sa musical instruments. And she knows when it's a toy and she knows when it's...
What's her instrument?
Piano.
Nice.
She knows if it's a... Sorry. She knows if it's a toy piano, she would throw it. But
Oh,
if it's
yeah.
like a real keyboard, she would... So I guess I believe my parents when they say na ganun din ako nung bata. Kasi I see it na exactly kamukhang-kamukha ko pa.
Following Papa's footsteps. Gaano ka-importante para for us or for you to be considered mainstream? Because yung mga iba ayaw maging branded na, mainstream ako eh. Parang parang nagre-rebelde, ayaw nila maging ganon. In your case, is it important?
I think it's not important per se that it is as a matter of status, but
Okay.
more of that's your leverage to reach people. Because as songwriters, of course, it's not about becoming big, because I think the drive for us when we write music is just to touch people or
Yes.
for
Tell your story,
to have
diba?
that shared experience through
yeah.
music. And without anyone to listen to it, then it just stays in the closet or it stays in the shelf. So being mainstream really helps to spread your music with the world.
Diba sometimes, don't you, this is a question for all of you, no? Parang when you, did there ever come a time in your songwriting process na parang, hindi, ang dami nang gumawa nito, or,
I used to be in a,
Yeah.
if I made you hear one of my songs, and the second someone says, "Oh, that sounds kind of like," when that
Yeah.
would happen to me, I would erase the song.
so parang you
I don't
say,
do that anymore.
you always say,
Yeah.
parang, hindi, ayoko, I wanna be different. Nangyayari ba yun sa inyo?
Yes.
All the time, I think.
All the time.
But like the
But
thing
I
is,
realized-
okay, you go first.
I realized na parang we try to be different just for the sake of magaling ako eh. Gusto ko ibahin to eh.
Yeah.
Tingnan natin kung mahula nila kung anong gagawin ko.
That's
and then
correct.
what happens is you become too selfish. You're just trying to please yourself. And that you take away the sharing when music is supposed to be shared.
That's also that's the best way to say it. The other way I was thinking is also I have been influenced by I've been influenced by him and by many other people that I've listened to, international or local, and like I would like to, as a writer and as a musician, I would like to pay tribute to them with my music, naman, diba? And if I was at that old mindset where I would let you hear a song and you tell me that sounds like Mayer, let's say, right? I'll throw it away. I'll be like, no, I don't wanna be like that. Then you're firstly, you could be selfish to everybody, but to yourself, I'm also not saying thank you to John Mayer and to the people he also was influenced by, because it's a lineage of music that we're all trying to evolve with, diba? So that for me, that's how I see it now. It's like I want to pay tribute to these people, to these bands, and to all of that in my music also as well.
I think it goes back to what he was saying earlier about how music, when we started Born Free and that the relation to other songs, right? I think in a way that's how music evolves. If we're influenced by something, it adds that color, and then when that person hears it, oh wow, you've taken this and you've evolved it into something that is still so you. Yet we can hear the influence in this, and it sounds so exciting because it's like that kind of music is moving. So this is a song I wrote during the pandemic, and this is a song called Ocean Crossing. And in a way, it kind of honors this process of seeing the pandemic as like a portal. Ooh. And as we go through it, we will be crossing in a way like a different mindset, things that no longer serve what we are growing towards. We have to leave that behind as we enter this portal, and we will come out of it different. We have to, otherwise there's no growth.
Mystics calling, heaven whispering, sun is dawning, light is coming in. Suddenly I feel like I fell upon my knees. I lift my head to look above and see clouds that are hovering, and I feel my soul calling, and here we are, ocean crossing. The sun hides from the moon again, eclipse my heart, remembering this whole time I've been running from it, but this time I'm here for it.
Guys, I want to ask, how important is it to know how to play an instrument when you write a song?
For me po, syempre because I started kasi nga po na hindi nagpo-play ng kahit anong instrument. So, I think preference na rin siya, if ever. And I know people who don't know how to play.
Parang who can write melodies. And then they'll go to someone, oh, this is what I hear, pam, 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 pam. And then they go to the arranger, mi ba?
Yeah.
Leah, in your case,
I think for me, it really helps when you know how to play the instrument. Like for me, songwriting usually comes to me as a cloud. Like I feel like it's in the air, the melody's there, and it's like riding a wave. Once I know the right key, it's like opening that gate, and then the song can come down, and then I can start to hum it, and then gibberish. It's always gibberish, and I'm recording the gibberish, and I'm finding the what feels good as a chord in the guitar, and then that's how it goes.
Ikaw naman, Tyro.
Ako, honestly, I'm not a very good player of any instrument. No, no.
I quit.
I have something to say. May magandang. Sige, go ahead.
No, when I started writing songs, I actually learned to arrange first before I even learned to play an instrument.
That's hard.
I was using GarageBand and I was drawing the notes.
Wow.
Yeah, I was drawing. I didn't even know the chord names. Parang okay, this sounds good with this, and then that's how I started to kumbaga parang when I have progression that I didn't know that was called the progression, na parang ayan, makakabuo na ako dito. That's how I started to make songs.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Alam mo, all this mga, the theory behind it, no? The theory in music. Actually, before, there was no theory naman. People just played. They created theory so that you can analyze, you can
Distinguish?
share it.
Okay.
Share it. Because parang it's just like, I'm going to say something, then you'll write it down so that you can tell the story. So, that's how I think of theory in music. Na parang it was done so that you can analyze and other people can learn. Diba? So, I started also, that saying I played by ear. Ganon. Yung talagang I didn't know how to read music.
I was not expecting that.
Read by ear?
You literally played it by the
Play by ear? That's ganon. So, interesting sa'yo talagang wala, no? Nothing, no?
Well, I learned the guitar when I was like 12, but not complicated enough to produce and make music. But at least I have the basic ABCD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did the pandemic, changing the topic, how did the pandemic affect you guys? All of you?
For me po, syempre, it's hard not seeing people, especially because this year lang, I got together with my boyfriend. And then after 5 days, wala na pandemic na, as in lockdown and all
man.
that. Yeah, as in naging long distance relationship.
Yeah, no?
Yeah, but syempre in terms of work also, it's different when you play live. Like this is my first show ever na live talaga na lumabas ako ganyan. So I love hanging out with people, so that's also but there are good things and bad things during this pandemic, and I think that's
mo,
that.
we bring people together the show.
That's true.
Lee, in your case,
Yes.
With a free test.
how has it been?
It's really hard because this is my main work, and so technically a lot of musicians have been jobless for the whole pandemic, and we're just it's kind of like being thrown into the ocean. You have to pivot and create new ways where you can still reach people through your music, and digital. And same, this is the first time that I am around musicians and playing music live, not just by myself in my living room. So it's really been hard.
Tyro,
For me,
busy ka pa rin,
as an arranger, yes, because gig wise, I only gig once a month, pre-pandemic.
Oh.
So work wise, as an arranger, as a composer, at first, the first few months, it was hard because the clients also are figuring out how they're gonna move forward. So once they did, it became harder na because there are no more Saturdays and Sundays. There are no more after fives. So they would call you like 10 p.m. because gising sila eh. And then they know that you're at home, you have gear at home. So
in a way, parang mas mahirap ata yun. Talagang doktor ka na talaga.
Yeah, on call ka. Para kang online consultation ng doktor niya.
You know what
Surgeon.
I'd like to do, since we're all songwriters here. Let's write a song about the pandemic. Let's go. Kasi yung hugot mo kanina, Diyos ko, parang naging long distance relationship or whatever, no? So, or about COVID. COVID pandemic. Kung anong ginawa sa atin to. Are you game?
Game po, game.
Huh?
Game.
Well, I think we haven't written in a long time, but this is, gonna be a good exercise.
What
exercise.
do we call it? Dear Pandemic or Dear COVID?
Pandemic.
Dear Pandemic, anong gusto nyo?
Pandemic na lang is...
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make you do the first verse, second verse.
Okay.
This is impromptu. This is really nice. And I'll make you do the chorus. Kung gusto nyo, Tagalog or English, bahala kayo. And then, so, first verse, second verse, chorus, and then we just play around in the chorus.
And then key of D, right?
D? Okay, let's do this. Sige.
D and then G. Yun lang. Naisip ko. The pandemic. Who would have thought I'd miss the traffic? Or that I'd lose dynamic life.
Oh, it's okay. Go lang.
Yeah. Pwede nga ulitin niya.
Yeah, go.
The pandemic. Who would have thought I'd miss the traffic and that I'd lose dynamic in life?
Nice.
The pandemic. Lola.
Never thought I'd stay home tonight.
Hey.
Nice one. Pre-chorus.
Pre-chorus?
Pre-chorus. Rob, you. Go into the chorus. Go to E minor.
Yeah, I know.
Down, I'm losing my way. I'm hoping this will all just go away.
One more set.
And I'm running on your way. Deep in
Tyro.
the go away.
Dear pandemic, I wish I didn't know you. Dear pandemic, I'd love to see you go shoot. Dear pandemic, I wish I didn't know you. Dear pandemic, I'd love to see you go shoot.
Oh, who wants to do another verse? Katuan.
Yo, yo.
Ayun!
Simulan mo na eh.
Bakunang pambata, nakuha na yata. Bahala na, ako na matata.
But that's just a phrase, right?
Galing, no?
Strange is the only word that I can ever think of whenever I get reminded of how it used to be. Just how close you were to me. Love was the only thing that was keeping us alive until everything got difficult and realized it wasn't enough. It was never enough. No matter where I go,
beautiful.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
I was like riding on an elevator. I was going higher and higher. And it's just like
Thank you.
peak, and it's just like, let me go, let me loose.
What is the name of the song?
Beautiful.
It's called Closest Thing to Love.
Wow. In fairness. What?
Yeah. Well,
What is it about? Really?
yeah, it's based on my personal experience, and it was just, sometimes when we go separate ways with the other person, diba? Parang sometimes we feel like it's the other person's fault or but with this song I just wanted to write about forgiveness, not just forgiving the other person but forgiving yourself. Parang both of you had faults in it and recognizing that, oh, I'm sorry I did this, because sometimes diba, parang kunyari, even if it's the other person's fault, but then you say something back that just hurts the other person again, and that's just like really just accepting and forgiving yun. So
As far as the songwriting is concerned, sometimes parang people think, no, we have to know a lot of these things, all the chords, all the terminologies. Yes, it helps. But sometimes less is best. Kunyari, you were practically just playing on almost just two chords, but there were, once in a while may susulpot na isa. But because of just staying on that, in that plane, your melody soars. And that's the beauty about it. No? Parang, less is best. Parang, if you can just write a song with one chord, iba.
That's correct. Less is more, less is best. But it's also be honest with your own song. You know what I mean? Like, I won't be able to sing that song the way she did because it's hers. If she
It's
gave
her
it to someone
angst
else.
kasi.
Diba? That's
You
a good
can- you
question
can-
for
parang
you because you write songs for other people. You're making them feel how you need them to feel, in a sense, right?
Yeah. Actually, I think whenever I write songs for other people, pag inapprove na nila, parang hindi, parang they won't approve it unless nakaka-relate sila yung mga artist
True.
Because there are also other times na parang pag nagparinig ka na you were sure na ito mapipiliin niya to, sobrang ganda nito. Pero parang biglang pagdating niya, parang it's not for me. I had a few na ganun.
Ang tawag doon, na barel, di ba?
Na baril.
Na barel. What can you say about the music industry now?
For me, it's evolving also, just like artists individually. I think the music industry now is evolving in terms of also because we have social media now, so it's just so different. Like the music just got smaller and wider at the same time kasi parang mas lalo nagkakakilala even from different countries, but at the same time like bigger nga kasi nga the world na, diba? We can take on the world even more now.
Music industry, I guess it's also it is true, it's evolving in a way that people are listening in a different way. It's the old ways of how you release music is also different. No one really listens to a full album anymore too, so the listeners are also growing. So it's really an interesting time in the music industry. You don't need so much big marketing, because people find you everywhere. You have the means to market yourself too, so you have ways to reach people.
Tyro, ikaw.
Just to add to that, parang, new ways to reach people. I think vlogging and TikToking played a great role in the spread of music, especially during pandemic. You would, minsan magugulat ako na parang, I would hear about a guy or an artist na parang, sino to? And then when you check, 8 million views talaga, saan? And then when you hear the music, that's where I know it from. Kumbaga parang it's another avenue, yung mga parang consumer-generated content. Mga parang yung subscribers mismo yung gumagamit as background music ng mga kanta. And then, of course, may marireach na mas maraming tao yun. So yun. So yung kalagayan yun, I think sobrang malakas siya in that sense kasi ang daming OPM.
I think also the technology of having equipments in the house, you can just record and release anytime.
I have a question. Because of all of this happening with us performing, writing things all at home, are you going to parang evolve the way you market yourselves? Nothing's gonna change your songwriting. Like that's up to you. But how we do shows, how we go out there and sing in those places, I don't think that's gonna happen in front of a crowd for a while. I think it's coming back, but not anytime soon. So what do you, the three of you, have to do regarding live performances and building a fan base that isn't going to be in front of your face anymore for a while? How's that for you?
For me right now, especially because I just released an album last September, it's hard also not being able to promote it, outside of your home. And I usually just have live shows and all that, like live chat, ganyan. But yeah, right now, it's cool for you to, in a sense, like really find ways to be creative as well,
Yeah.
diba? Since you're a musician, you're not just a creative in terms of writing songs. You can also just like, and right now I'm really grateful because I'm part of a team from label ng Warner. So right now I have a team with me and my managers from London also. So like we're really, just doing everything that we can to push for the music. But it's hard also. You want to be very personal, but at the same time, like, diba? So yeah, it's just a complicated thing right now for me.
Yeah. Ako it's the balance now, no? The balance of music and the business side of it that makes it really, it's hard.
I think I've been an independent artist for a long time now, and there's a lot of struggle as well when you don't have the help of a label, of a management to really help you push yourself out. I mean, who are we kidding? We need listeners to listen to our stuff, but that's a different side of the brain. Sometimes I'm focused on creating the music, and then I'm having to promote my own music. It's really difficult to do that at the same time. You're not just an artist. You need to learn marketing. You need to learn social media, digital, everything else nowadays.
Speaking of that, could the three of you please promote anything that you want to promote? Your album, social media, work, yourself. Go, Cakes, you
Yeah,
first.
well, my album is out on all musical digital platforms. It's called Ready Let Go, and I have my other staff stuff from my previous albums. I also have this album called my first album is called Keiko Through It All, and the second one is actually it's like the soundtrack album for Ang Babae Allergic sa Wi-Fi. So yeah, and you can follow me on my social media accounts. I have my Twitter and Instagram. It's at Keiko Sounds Like. And yeah, on YouTube, Keiko Necesario.
Lee?
Thank you. I guess people can follow me on social media. I have Lee Green Music as my Facebook and Instagram, and I do every Sunday a stint called Soulful Sunday. So it's playing music for those of you who want to take a break out of the whole week and just kind of set you up for the coming week. So that's from 10 p.m. to 12 on my Facebook page, and sometimes I go on Kumu.
Tyrone?
Follow me on my social media accounts at Thyro Alfaro on Instagram, and on Facebook just search Thyro Alfaro. Please follow. And September 14 po, birthday ko po yun.
I hope the show reaches that date. Well, thank you guys. We really appreciate it. We had so much fun.
Thank you so much for having us.
That was an
Thank you,
incredible
thank you.
experience. Keiko, Lee, Tyro, you guys are amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your music and giving us your time. And for the rest of you, we would like to thank the people who made this possible.
Yeah, but before I thank them, I just want to say my brain just rebooted because of your music, and it's so
Fresh.
fresh. So again, thank you to our sponsors, Grant Lim of Home Studio, Casa by Karen, Warren Carman of HMRs, Sogo Hotel.
Bello, Fila, Gourmet Farms, La Petite Paradis Specialty Boutique, GAOC, and Swatch.
And Swatch, yes. Thank you all for tuning in. Just know this, the stories move the music.
And music moves the soul.
And if the music touches your heart, then our job is done. Good night.
And goodbye.